Hey, it's SickBoy from the Gaming Anarchist Collective and welcome to the Anarchic Eye for the 10th of February 2014. First of all, I'd like to start with a little PSA, and this is regards to the Elder Scrolls Online game. Now, those of you who are aware of the title know that it is a full price title and it's going to charge a subscription of $15 a month, I believe. And with regards to Collector's Edition, now with regard to you pick your race when you start your game, and that race determines certain clans you can be in with regards to the story. If you buy the Collector's Edition, which is really fucking expensive, you can be an Imperial, and an Imperial can be anything, which frankly I just think breaks the fucking game when you're paying a subscription model. This kind of shit is really toxic. And free-to-play MMOs, you know, jumping the shark and the charges are going through the roof. Those are ridiculous. The reason that you had the free-to-play, because then you had the flexibility and everything, now you're having pay-to-play incorporate these things. You know, if you want to charge for hats and shit, that's your fucking prerogative. But you want to start charging, say, I tell you what, you pay extra, you can have absolute flexibility. The flexibility to play the game however you want in a way that everyone else who's paid full price and a subscription fee can't have access to. That's fucking bullshit. Well, a final kick to the nuts of Batman Arkham Origins. It appears that there will be no more patches for this title. Now, if you're not aware really and you're interested in buying one of the Batman games, Arkham Asylum is superb. Arkham City is superb. Arkham Origins is essentially clones so many things from the previous games. I mean, Arkham City ported a fair number of concepts from Arkham Asylum, and Arkham Origins just lifts shit wholesale. It was, and the developers were dropped in it, they were not rock steady, they knew they were in over their head, so they played it safe, and not only did they manage to port a lot of ideas, they managed to fuck a lot of things up. There were some issues with the combat, there were issues with glitching, there were some issues where progression, you couldn't get through certain vents and things in order to progress and unlock the map. Now, I didn't have these issues, I played it on PC, I experienced some mechanical issues, and you see in a previous video I did where I found that characters were being glitched out of the combat and it was going fucking crazy. Now there's no more patches for this game, that's it, game done. I think that is a shoddy thing that Warner Brothers are doing. Frankly, that's fucking shoddy. You took this title, you put a lot of money and effort behind it, and it became the best, if not one of the best, if not the best, comic book franchise games. And if it was originally going to be designed as a tie-in game to the Batman films. And if it would have been one of the greatest video games ever, up there with games like The Warriors. It would have been superb. So, you fucked this up. What you've literally done is you've just put a death nail into this franchise. I sincerely hope that Rocksteady comes up with something substantially impressive for a next-gen offering. Because otherwise, you've just killed the quality of a lucrative franchise. Now, Batman's going to sell because Batman's Batman and Batman's popular. Especially when you're going to cram Harley Quinn and the Joker down everyone's throats because, hey, look at me, I'm a Batman fan, I can recognise Harley Quinn. Well, their popularity aside, it's just desperate to see a series that lived up to the hype. I was hyped for Arkham Asylum, and my god, it blew me away. I was excited for Arkham City, and it blew me away. I was not looking forward to Arkham Origins because I knew of the development switches and everything, and the game came, and it was just, I meh'd the whole fucking game. It was such a disappointment, and you know full well that you don't give a shit, that no one's going to complain that much because you have Batman, because you own DC, Warner Brothers. It's a shoddy, shitty practice, and you know DC has been leading the way recently in comic book video games, and we expected a certain quality. There's not a Marvel game that came close to the quality of that. Nothing came close. All of the half-decent Marvel games recently have been clones of Arkham. And they weren't even all that good. And you're screwing the pooch by letting the quality drop. I think it's fucking lame. Well, the insane popularity of Flappy Bird has gone toe apeshit the last couple of days. Now, this game is just a free mobile app. It's just a little bit of silly free fun. It is the clone of a million other helicopter games, and in fact there was a bird game where you went up and down between cacti a couple of years ago, which is exactly the same game. So it is in many, many ways. And you'll see in the thumbnail I'm going to use, you can see that basically the bird actually looks like Cheep from Mario, and of course they have the pipes. Now, that's not really infringement because they don't actually really own the trademarks to bird that could possibly look a bit like a fish and a pipe. They don't own that, but of course it is a cynical cash-in. But things have gone absolutely crazy. Now, the other day it was announced that they were earning, that the developer, single developer in Vietnam, has been earning $50,000 a day. Holy shit. This is purely from ad revenue, of course, because the game itself was free. They came out on Saturday night stating that he was going to pull the title from sale. Sunday night, I believe, actually. Pulling the title from sale, couldn't take it anymore, said it wasn't for any legal issues, but just couldn't cope, and was going to pull the title. And now the title is gone. And it's been interesting to see how people have reacted. Now, it appears that he received a number of death threats, both before and after he was going to remove the game, which is fucking ridiculous, because the game itself was nothing special. It was popular. That was the thing. It really just happened to go off. Not his fault. It was just a standard crappy little free mobile game, as with many others. I quite enjoy, I have the game Pooh on my Android, where you have lots of little mini games, and one of them is exactly Flappy Bird. So there's a lot of that. It's so much cloning. And there were people, you see Total Biscuit made a video today, talking about how a despicable clone it was, and what an awful, awful thing it is for the gaming industry, and how bad the gaming industry's been. I just want to point out that the gaming industry was born in this shit. Cloning? Cheap mechanics and cloning is what video gaming came from. It is the basis of video games. Do you not think Space Invaders had a shitload of clones? How many MMOs are WoW clones? How many games just clone shit, steal ideas, left, right and centre? Is it illegal? There is a real grey area about this, because people are just taking stuff wholesale, have done for years. Laying it to the feet of one person is totally unreasonable. You're telling me there's been no Pac-Man clones, no Tetris clones, no Asteroids clones, no Space Invaders clones, no Mario clones? Really? Really, there's been none of those. They're completely unheard of. Every single FPS is a Wolfenstein 3D clone. Every modern one. They take shit from Halo, and they take shit from Call of Duty. These things are so prevalent in the gaming industry. To call this one thing out as abhorrent, and to see so many gamers just lambast it, you go, Jesus fucking Christ, calm the hell down. Okay, it's a shitty little game that I've spent an hour or two playing while sitting around waiting for stuff. It's a video game equivalent of a toilet book. You can't be spending all your time playing Dark Souls. Occasionally, you're just waiting around for a few minutes and you think, what can I do? I know, I'll navigate a bird through some pipes for a couple of seconds. That's all there is to it. The thing was free. And to lambast it that I'm a proper gamer, you're not a real gamer because you've played that. Fuck off. Don't be so fucking childish. And also, this is a very toxic attitude, and I'll explain why. In a world where gamers are seen as weirdos, misanthropes, and for some people, dangerous psychos, we can utilise things like mobile gaming, which is so prevalent. Facebook games, these kind of games on the iOS, on the App Store, on the Google Play Store. These games bridge the gap. People's mothers, people's grandmothers, teachers, politicians play these games. Was it Dick Cheney? No, I don't think it was Dick Cheney. Someone in the US, a US politician recently was found actually playing an Android game during a war council. I forget who it was. Please remind me in the comments. I don't think it was Dick Cheney, actually. But anyway. This is where you bridge the gap and go, we're all gamers. Look, it's just a game. And not just go, you fucking prick, that's not a game, you fucking dick. I'm a proper gamer because I only play strategic RPGs. Ha 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 ha. You all suck. Don't be fucking stupid. Media is a broad spectrum. I'm interested in a great spectrum of things. I like movies, I also like theatre. I like comic books, I also like great literature. I like to play concentratedly difficult, hard video games, and I've enjoyed playing Flappy Birds and Angry Birds now and again. It's not my gaming experience, but I have touched them. I've played them for a while. I even joked on Twitter where I was putting up my score, and some people were competing with me as who could beat me on Flappy Birds. It was fun. I'm sorry if I enjoyed something that was simple and shitty for a couple of hours of my life, but who the fuck are you to go around judging everybody for daring to do something that you don't want to do? Now, I understand that the popular thing, I tend to shy away from. It was... Posting little scores of Flappy Birds was literally the most popularest thing I have ever done in my life. I always shy away from what's popular. I shied away from things like Pokemon until no one was really interested in it anymore. Everyone had played it to death, and then I picked up Ruby. Years after all of my friends had played it. Because I didn't like it. I didn't like the popularity of it. Same way I never touched Yu-Gi-Oh! Wasn't interested in it. Magic the Gathering again. I just stepped away because everybody was into it, and I just felt, no, I don't like it. So while they were all doing that, I was painting Warhammer models. That's my nature, and this one time I did it, and you just see from the vitriol, the bitchiness about it, and you go, for fuck's sake, this guy has done nothing wrong. The developer has done nothing wrong beyond do exactly what a million other developers do on a daily basis, and he became successful as a fluke. You know, there's no way he could have predicted the success he's had, and he can't cope with it, and he's fallen apart. He's not the devil. He is just a cheap developer who's trying to build a career for himself and has cloned a game like practically every dev has ever done. You don't think even the legends like Peter Molyneux openly says, I saw this thing, I stole that for Goddess, I like that, I stole that, I like this concept, I stole that concept. Stealing concepts is a thing. Is it right? Probably not. Will we get innovation without it? No, probably not. Does it risk stagnation? Yes, it does. But trying to pretend that this is something new, don't be fucking ridiculous. Literally, just Google video game clones and just look at it. Look at the list of titles that are just fucking cloned. Seriously, get a fucking grip. Well, in the vacuum left by Flappy Bird, titles like Happy Bird, Flappy Bird, Flyer are all over the place. In fact, that is number 2, I believe, on the iOS chart currently. Because this game is so highly popular, and it's a cloned game anyway, but people are cloning the cloned game to cash in on it like absolutely nothing I've ever seen. It's mental. Really, really is. And the problem is, what really pisses me off, further on to what I was just saying, is that the cynical cash-ins on the popularity of this clone are just horrific. There's one, the Happy Bird, Flappy Bird Flyer, whatever it's called. They charge you 69 pence per 3 lives. Yeah. Yeah, all of a sudden the free game that earned ad revenue seems entirely innocuous, doesn't it? Now that the market is being populated by this bullshit. This is a big problem. And this is what comes when, it's a natural thing, popularity happens, and of course the guy has now removed his game from sale, well, from download for free, and now it is filled with this massive gap of absolute bullshit. I strongly suggest that if you or you have friends or family who enjoy the occasional mobile app, to be very cautious about these kind of things. I mean, it's been going on for a while. There's games that just take advantage. But the fact that that game was a free title, and now that they're plugging with clones, direct clones of a cloned game, and charging in 69p per 3 lives. If it's anywhere near, like something like Flappy Bird itself, people could do that in seconds. So this is a fucking dangerous thing. This is going to screw over some children, and it's going to have some parents pretty fucking pissed. And I suppose, sadly, we really only have the internet to blame for this. One, for the popularity to the point where it got as insane as it did, and secondly, the fact that that leads to people being pricks, and it leads to people... Now, this may well be a popularity, publicity stunt. I'm not convinced. That's all just speculation at this point. But the fact that game is no longer on, and all these little pay-to-win, free-to-play versions that charge an absolute fortune are out. Well, that's just superb, isn't it? Whoopee shit for everybody. And really one of the big bits of news of the day, although not really that important, so I'll skim over it quickly, is that Call of Duty is now going to be run on 3 main developers, and that's going to have that life cycle. So it's going to have a 3-year development cycle as opposed to the previous 2. Now, previously it was going between Infinity Ward and Treyarch. Now, Sledgehammer Games, who supported Modern Warfare 3, are going to do their own title. So now there's going to be 3 Call of Duty franchises, which... At first, when I heard they were going to a 3-year cycle, I was thinking, oh, maybe they'll do a year off every couple of years just to help it go on. Oh, no. Activision being Activision have to have a version out every single year. So expect more greater variance in Call of Duty. And I strongly suspect to see a huge frustration because the next one coming is the Sledgehammer one. Now, the only thing they've worked on is Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 was not really that well received. Really, I mean, compared to the others. Of course, every year a new one comes out. Everyone says how shit the new one is and how much they love the old ones. So who can really tell? Well, sticking with Call of Duty, it appears that the patch designed on Ghosts in order to make way for the Onslaught DLC has had some massive issues on the Xbox One. Now, I haven't played this game on the Xbox One, so I haven't seen this myself. I'm going by reports that have been in news articles. According to those, there have been some significant hits to performance of the title, to the point where in some respects the game is dropping to 20 frames per second. I'm sorry, you cannot have a next-gen shooter that plays at 20 FPS. Fucking hell, that is dreadful. That is absolutely fucking dreadful. Seriously, that needs to get fixed fucking pronto. Sticking with the Xbox One vein, Double Helix, the developers behind the Killer Instinct reboot, and also got the upcoming Strider. Before then, not really all that much of note. They have just been bought. By who? Amazon. Yeah. It's been going on a while that Amazon wanted to join the Android console market. Now, whether they're going to join a bigger console market, that's as maybe. Wait and see what happens at E3 at this rate. I wouldn't be surprised with the success of Amazon and the money they had. They may well make a full-on, powerhouse Android-run machine. Can't say for sure, but Amazon certainly have the resources to launch a major competitor. Not in the way that the Ouya is a minor scale competitor, but as in a major corporation. Could well be on the cusp of launching a significant machine. Now, it may well be a complete and utter flop and a piece of crap, but time will only tell. And this is going to have to be a blow for Microsoft, because one of their major flagship titles, they put their money on Double Helix in order to develop the Killer Instinct franchise. So what's going to happen? Because it's an ongoing franchise. It's an ongoing seasonal game. They've had to announce that they've got a new partner apparently, and they're going to have to announce who's going to be developing it. Now, if it was Rare, I think people would be jumping in, somersaults. Not that Rare has really made much of any cop for quite some time, but it would be nice to have it be brought back in-house. But we'll see what's going on with that. But that is a big blow to the Xbox One community, because Killer Instinct has been very well received. As a game, the business model has proved to be a solid business model. It has. I'm glad to be proved wrong that it wasn't as cynical as I was worried that it was going to be. So, by all accounts, the game is pretty good. And certainly, obviously, the fact that they're going for a competitive, creative business model. Unfortunately, of course, because it's free to play and because it's transaction based, that you can unlock characters or buy the game wholesale, you are paying essentially for an ongoing service, which I don't like about video games. I want to have the game, I want to buy it as a unit and have it, and thank you very much. So I don't like the idea of games as a service, and that's what Killer Instinct really is. Is it a decent enough quality service? Yes, it is. Is it badly priced? Actually, the price point's pretty reasonable. However, I don't like the fact that it is an ongoing service, and this is why. This is one of the reasons why. The developers are gone now. So the people who've been working on this from day one are gone. Goodbye. Start from scratch. You've got the code. Go ahead and just run it and create new characters and add new game modes, because the game modes were quite thin on the ground. This is a complete and utter fucking disaster for Microsoft, frankly. Unless they have themselves a spectacular developer in the wings. Double Helix really came out of nowhere. from a developer you wouldn't give half a shit about to all of a sudden becoming one of the most important parts of Microsoft's next-gen system, and now they're gone. Well, here's an interesting bit of news, and I'm just going to get my tinfoil hat ready here. It turns out that Titanfall has been delayed only on the Xbox 360. Now, it's still coming out on the PC and the Xbox One at the original launch date. Why is my tinfoil hat out, you may ask? Well, we know that large corporations such as Microsoft will do whatever they can in order to push their sales. I strongly suspect they believe the hype for Titanfall is sufficient that a delay will turn the title into a killer app for the Xbox One. I genuinely think that they are trying to push millions of people to drop their 360 and run to an Xbox One. I really do. Because personally, a lot of people can have every reason. If you're an Xbox 360, of course you can say, well, I've got Titanfall and Destiny. Why do I really give a shit about the next-gen systems? Also, on top of that, if you're a Metal Gear Solid fan, obviously the prequel, I'm going to call it a prequel, really. Ground Zeroes is a prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5, let's face it. And other great, Dark Souls 2 is coming to the current-gen systems. That's enough to keep some people playing for years. Absolutely years. What's going to drag them across? Maybe just a slight delay on what they consider a killer app next-gen FPS experience. Next-gen or current-gen? Oh no, sorry, you're going to have to buy the Xbox One. How many people are going to lose their patience? How many people are going to fall for this? Now, this may not be anything. This may just be a genuine issue that only the Xbox 360 version is somehow resulting in a delay. I sincerely doubt it. Well, as I've been talking about mobile apps, if you or anybody you know is interested in playing a free game, I'm going to recommend one to you. It's called Play the Cure Genes in Space. It's a game by Cancer Research UK, and it is being utilised. Now, those of you may remember that there was a thing on the PlayStation 3 where you could run protein folding software that in order to be utilised to help medical research. It's basically cloud processing, but in a good way. So what this does is basically just a flying game. It's just a little free mobile flying game. But what it's doing is it's utilising your playing and the processing power of your device in order to do genetic research to help support cancer research. So the data the software is going to create while you're playing the game is actually going in together to help utilise this in silico method of data generation in order to support cancer research. Now, if you want a free time waster, there's one that you should be putting some time into. Well, again, because it's mobile day it seems, it needs to be brought up. EA's Dungeon Keeper is a fucking abomination. It is an absolute abhorrence. Now, what it is basically a port of the beloved Dungeon Keeper title. And what it's become is a awful free-to-play model. Literally, you can play it for little more than a minute at a time before you'd either have to pay to progress or wait significant amounts of time to be able to do anything. It's fucking terrible. And they've come out and gone, oh well, it's unsafe to be defensive. We designed this game to follow typical mobile patterns. Did you fuck? This is genuinely one of the most exploitative free-to-play titles there has ever been. This is fucking terrible. And not only that, but they've utilised a beloved franchise. Now what they've basically done is clone the Clash of Clans title. And they've made it worse. They've made it an abhorrence. And the reason they've done that is not very difficult to fathom. A quick search, you can see that Clash of Clans brings in nearly $1 million a day. Makes things like Flappy Bird seem pathetic with its $50,000 a day, $1 million a day almost. I believe currently the estimate, of course this is an estimate, this isn't going to be absolute, but it says like $980,000 for a fucking mobile game. No wonder EA want on that. No fucking wonder they're going to squeeze every ounce out of it. And they have got some fucking stones to come out and say that it's just basically butthurt fans of the series. People are going absolutely fucking spare about the existence of Flappy Bird. But where, seriously, there needs to be actual genuine reason for outcry. Shit like this. This is abusive. This is exploitative. This is fucking despicable. Not only that, okay, so not only is the game a fucking microtransactions riddled nightmare, not only have they just said, oh, we're just doing standard free-to-play mobile services. On top of that, they have put in a way that if you want to rate the game, obviously with these mobile apps, you're asked to rate the game. If you try and rate the game less than a 5, it doesn't take you to the actual store to rate it, it takes you to a different thing, to a survey. So it doesn't impact their ratings. Of course, people have got so pissed off about that that they've managed to do it anyway. So they just made it harder to poorly rate the title. Again, shifty, shoddy, typical fucking EA behaviour. You've changed my fucking arse. And people like Boogie writing their love letters to EA, pleading with them to be good. Jesus fucking Christ. Do you not see that they are a large business? Some large businesses run on the goodwill of customers. Companies like, and I'm going to say it again, CD Projekt Red. They own GOG. They actually do a lot of consumer outreach to kind of say, please like us, we'll be nice to you. EA just say, the only nice thing they've ever done is gone, we support gay rights and equal rights. Good, so you fucking should. Not that it's got anything to do with you being a video game developer, but yeah, you should be a decently moral human being. Thanks for bringing that up. Are you going to be less of a twat to your consumers? No, not really, but if you hate us, you must be some kind of homophobe. Look, we'll put up a rainbow banner, so maybe you'll leave us alone. Get fucked! You are not some progressive, magical, LGBTQ-friendly company. You're cynical pricks. And this Dungeon Keeper is just another example on hundreds and hundreds of examples that you could name about how EA are a shoddy fucking organisation. And it's not that they're a business out to make money, it's the fact that they're so fucking cynical about it, and the fact they're so unapologetic about it, and the fact that they were apologetic to consumers for about 7 minutes until people went, oh, okay, maybe we'll stop giving them shit. And then look what happens. This is what happens when you let the pressure off on organisations like this. Keep the pressure on. And to finish, Inafune has come out and is possibly going to turn the Mega Man fan base absolutely fucking rabid. He's come out and said that Mighty No. 9 is not a Mega Man game. It's not just a Mega Man game, so don't expect it to be one. Now, he's come out and said that obviously what he wants to do is he wants to bring in Mega Man fans and give them something new. So it could well be a fantastic experience. However, I can understand and appreciate how a number of Mega Man fans could well be fucking furious with this. People back this because basically all they wanted was a Mega Man clone. Just a decent Mega Man clone. Now, if you offer them something different, it may well be something that they love, and I hope it is. Because people backed this on the grounds that it was basically going to be Mega Man. So if you're going to take the concept and twist it to the point where it's no longer recognisable as that, that's a problem. Really? They just want a fucking clone. Can you just give them a clone? Really? It's going to get a lot of people very pissed. Now, I'm still hoping this title is going to be of decent quality. I hope so, because the Mega Man fanbase have been shat on for so long. It would be good to have a game that can be a true spiritual successor. And hopefully these changes won't negate that. But Jesus Christ, this is an interesting thing. Now, this interview in of itself is a little bit of clickbaiting by the journalists, really. They are trying to get a rise out of people. So, if you trust him as a developer, then you've trusted him with your money. If you trust him with your money, then maybe you should trust him. However, bear in mind that he has just essentially said that he is not creating what you think he is creating. Now, whether that's for better or for worse, that's entirely for you to judge, certainly if you're a backer of the project. Anyway, guys, you've been looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic Eye. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys later.